Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Today we're going to be looking at how a pickpocket, that's right, pickpocket, can make you filthy rich. That's right, filthy rich. Now, if you're interested in this sort of content, make sure you are subscribed with your notifications turned on. Let's get into the video straight away. Welcome if you are new here, and welcome back if you are not. My name is Jonny Bradley. I'm founder of the Seller Pro Academy, where we help ordinary people create extraordinary things, just one product at a time. So today, yes, we are going to be looking at pickpockets. Very interesting kind of subject to talk about. It's pretty cool. I'm not a pickpocket myself. You may be. No hate if you are. Just don't pickpocket me. So I want to talk to you guys about a video that I watched the other day, and I've got loads of notes for this video. I've got a ton of notes that I want to go through, because this is quite in-depth stuff. So I'm going to go through some of these, but the first thing is that this is going to be a video about selling on Amazon, okay? And you may think, well, how does a pickpocket relate to selling on Amazon? And there's a really interesting theory which I'm going to take you through in a second, but I want to explain to you how I came to this. So I was scrolling through YouTube as I regularly do, as you probably may do as well, late night, and I was in bed just kind of watching videos and stuff like that. Cat videos, car videos, more cat videos, and then I stumbled onto a TED Talk, and the TED Talk was titled, it was titled "The Art of Misdirection with Apollo Robbins." Okay, so I'm going to link that down below if you want to go and look at it. So obviously credit is going to go to him and TED Talks for this video, but I'm going to link that down below. And what he does in this video is he kind of pulls attention to the quirks of human behavior while he steals someone's watch, right? And in this video, again, I'll throw some clips of it now. Really interesting video, because he's a pickpocket, he's kind of sleight of hand, misdirection, that sort of stuff. So it's quite interesting to look at. But he has he's like a passing statement where he mentions something called Posner's theory of attention. And I love theories. If you've watched the channel for a while, you know that I love kind of science and technology and stuff. I even have like tattoos of equations and stuff like that. Now, I love this sort of stuff. So I heard that, my ears pricked up, blurry-eyed, and about to go to sleep, and I was like, theory of attention. I heard theory and I was like, oh, what's this? I went back, Posner's theory of attention, wrote it down, and then the next day I went to start researching this. This was about 2 weeks ago. I started to research what is Posner's theory of attention. I started reading like textbooks, watching other videos, looking at kind of articles, and started to really understand this theory, not in depth, because I'm not some sort of scientific magician, but it made a lot of sense. Okay, and the reason why it made a lot of sense is because a lot of the training that I create, a lot of the stuff that I talk about on YouTube and in my training programs and with my students, is about attention and focus. How you can pull focus to a particular word, a particular phrase, a bullet point, an image on your Amazon listing, because the whole way that we succeed by selling on Amazon is to gain attention, right? When you think about when you type in your main keyword for your product, you type it in, you get a whole list of results, all fighting for your attention. And it's your job to try and gain that attention from the customer, pull their focus towards your listing. And if you don't know how to do that, then you're going to really struggle to get clicks. Or similarly, when someone's on your listing, when they're scrolling through your photos, you have a very limited amount of time to be able to educate that customer on what your product's features and benefits are. So if you know where their attention is focused on, you can then make sure that you're communicating in the best way. And this is what I teach, this is what I go over. And I knew that it worked, right? And this is common for quite a lot of the ththings I do. I know they work, but I have no idea why. Okay, and once I heard this Posner's theory of attention, this is kind of like when I found out about the law of large numbers. Again, I was using the law of large numbers within how to construct things like images in your Amazon listings, but I didn't know the theory behind why it worked. I just knew that it worked. This is kind of like this, and I just had that aha moment, that eureka moment, where I was like, oh my God, this is so incredible. And this is what I want to go over today and just explain to you how it works. So today we are going to be discussing something called Posner's theory of attention. attention, and in particular the spotlight model of attention. Okay, and don't worry if this starts to get confusing. I'm going to explain it as we go on, but there's a few things that go into the actual theory of attention, but one of them is the spotlight model of attention. That's what we're going to really be talking about today. If you want to go into the other things, let me know down in the comments if you find this video valuable, and then we can go into some of the other models as well. So what I want you to think about right now, and this is going to really explain what the spotlight model of attention is. What I want you to think about is if you're in a dark room. You might be in a dark room right now. If you're in a dark room, okay, and you have a spotlight, there may be hundreds of things in the room, right? But you can only see what's in the light beam. You can only see what you put your spotlight on. Okay, so that's the basic premise of the spotlight model of attention, is that there's a lot of things in the world, there's a lot of stuff, but you have a small spotlight to be able to see, and you focus and you put attention on the things that are within your spotlight. Okay, so that's the first thing you need to understand before we move on. So we take in a huge amount of information from our five senses all the time, but we're not actually attending to them because our spotlight isn't focused on them. However, if you're in that dark room, okay, and you have your spotlight on one particular area, and then you hear a noise behind you, automatically you can spin around and you can put your spotlight on where you thought that noise was. Okay, just because you were focusing on this one area doesn't mean that your other four senses or your other senses aren't working. Okay, they're always working, but your attention isn't focused on them. As soon as you get told to attend to something, then you spin around and you can focus your spotlight on it. I'm going to do an experiment with you right now. Okay, this is sort of like, before this very moment, you probably weren't thinking about what your phone feels like in your hands. You might not be thinking about the TV that's on in the background, or you probably weren't thinking about what your shirt or your clothes feel like on your skin. But now that I've mentioned it, you are putting attention into it. You're attending that feeling. So now you know, oh, that's what my phone feels like in my hands. That I can actually hear the TV in the background, when before I was just zoning it out. Or maybe it's your girlfriend or your boyfriend that's talking to you, and you're like, yeah, right? Or it could be the feeling of your clothes on your skin. Because of your five senses, you were always taking those things in, but you weren't attending to them, right? Because you weren't focused on them. As soon as you get told to focus on something, automatically you do. It's just like saying, don't think about a pink elephant. The first thing you think about is a pink elephant, right? Now this works for memory as well. So if you think back to a restaurant that you go to quite a lot, let's say for example it's Nando's, Cheeky Nando's, then tell me how many windows there are in that restaurant. You've probably been there many, many times, but because you weren't focused on that feature, you don't remember, but you've been there and you've taken it in and you've seen it a lot, but you don't remember it because you weren't attending to it, you weren't giving it attention. Now this is exactly the same thing happens on Amazon. Just because you have, say, 7 photos and all of them have a lot of information and a customer sees them all, it does not mean that they have attended or they have focused on any of the information. Right? You have to remember that when customers are going through Amazon, imagine it like a dark room, and they have a spotlight on your image, on your pictures, and they are looking at tiny proportions of those pictures as they scroll through. You can't assume that someone's going to be able to attend to everything and see everything in that room. You have to assume that they have a limited resource of attention, and they have a spotlight of attention as well. When you're creating your Amazon images, you must understand these two fundamental things. First of all, you have limited time, and the second of all, you have limited attention. Okay, limited time and limited attention. So when someone's scrolling through Amazon, then they're going to scroll through quickly. You know, every half a second they're going to be looking at a new photo. If you can't communicate your feature or the benefit of that photo within half a second, then it's not a good photo. Okay, you're not going to be able to use your time to your advantage. So that's why when you're creating your images, you want to have one feature per image, and you want to make it crystal clear. So if you swipe through it quickly, that person is able to actually attend to it and give it attention. The second thing is limited attention. So attention is a limited resource. Like I said earlier, you have a very small spotlight in a very, very big dark room. So you have to understand where to pull people's focus to. If you have lots of conflicting information on the picture, it's going to be confusing for the customer. If you break it up into 3 parts, but they're not, on the left-hand side or the right-hand side, it's going to be confusing for the customer because they have to give attention to 3 separate areas of of the screen. Whereas if they're all in a line, they only really have to give attention to one area. So these are very, very simple things to change. They're very easy to change, but they can have a ginormous impact. But what I find is that a lot of people don't understand or don't think about the customer in terms of where their attention is pulled to and how much time they're actually going to spend on someone's photo. You have to understand that people don't have all day to start looking at your photos. They're going to go through your photos, they're going to go through someone else's, and they're going to choose which is going to be the best product for them. So if you can communicate your features and benefits in a timely manner and make sure that you pull attention to the things that you want the customers to know, then you'll have a very successful listing. And a nice little tip here is that when you're creating these images, think about the spotlight model of attention. If someone just looks at one particular thing, like a heading, or if they look at just the photo or just a bullet point, will it still communicate the thing you're trying to communicate? If I just look at the photo, am I able to understand what that feature is? If I just look at the title, am I able to understand what it is? If I just look at a bullet point, am I able to understand what it is? If you can do that, that means that you're kind of covering all bases. So some customers will be drawn towards the title, some will be drawn towards a bullet point, some will be drawn towards a picture. You want to make sure that whatever they look at, they get the same message, right? They're not getting conflicting messages because your photo doesn't actually show the feature that you're trying to showcase. So that's how you want to construct your images on your actual listing. In terms of your first image, your hero image, we're going to go back to the dark room analogy, okay? Let's say you're in a dark room and you have your spotlight and there's loads of the products right around the room, and you're just kind of moving your spotlight around trying to look at all of them. At one point, one of them is going to catch your eye. There's going to be something about it that catches your eye, and then you're going to focus your spotlight on there. Rather than searching, you're going to focus your spotlight on one particular area, and then you're probably going to go in and look at, pick it up and look at what it is. This happens on Amazon. So when you type in something you want to search for, all these listings pop up, and this is when the customer is getting their spotlight out and they're looking, which one should I focus on? At that point, you need to be that product that pulls the focus. Right? There needs to be something within your hero image that demands attention. And the way that you can do this is by trying to stand out, trying to do something different. If everyone has a certain look to their photos, do it differently. Okay? Eventually it'll get copied and you can change it again. But just do it differently, try and stand out. And to test that theory, then you can use something called the law of large numbers to actually test to see if it works. And we can go into that in another video if you really want me to, but it's going to take a little bit longer to go through. So let me know down in the comments if you want to know about how the law of large numbers works with your Amazon images. So guys, if you have any questions about that, then feel free to just post a comment below. If you want me to kind of analyze your Amazon listing and kind of rip into it a bit, then feel free to email me at support@jonnybradley.com, or you can send me a direct message on Instagram with the link, and I'll just kind of have a little scroll through it as and when I can. But yeah, if you want me to have a little look through and analyze them, I'll try and do that as much as possible. If you have enjoyed this video and you found it informative and educational, then what I'd like you to do is smash that like button and leave a comment if you'd like me to kind of do more videos like this, where I'm talking about kind of theory and how it relates to Amazon, because this is stuff that I really enjoy. This sort of stuff. I love the theory side of things. I love the creativity side of things. So this is stuff that I'm more than happy to speak about more often. If you are hungry to start selling on Amazon, then what you can do is go to www.sellerproacademy.com and you can enroll to get my personal support along with all the training and everything that comes with it. You do need to as well. I do have some free training which I'll link down below. That's it for today, guys. Make sure you are subscribed with those notifications turned on, and remember, you're just one product away.